The Venezuelans were reported by MSNBC being thankful for being flown to Martha's Vineyard. What we also found out is these migrants were also signed consent waivers. Not only that, they were given food, shelter, and stuff like that. And somebody might push back and say, well, they were probably only speaking English. I freaking doubt that crap. No, I guarantee you there was a Spanish translator there. There's no way. If you're going to do something kind of borderline sketchy like this, you're going to fall as legally as possible. And so this is him responding. But again, we've had Biden flying 2 million people across the border, and 50 people make the news. Here we go.
Anybody? Yes.
Home news conference earlier this morning where they were condemning the migrant plight. Representative Jeffries, he said, and I'm quoting him, he said, you and Governor Abbott need to start acting like governors and stop acting like human traffickers. First, what is your response to that? And second, is there a second migrant flight going from Texas to Delaware right now?
So when Biden is flying these people all over the fruited plain in the middle of the night, I didn't hear a peep out of those people, okay? I didn't hear a peep. I haven't heard a peep about all the people that have been told by Biden you can just come in, and they're being abused by the cartels, they're drowning in the Rio Grande. You had 50 that died in some shed in Texas. I heard no outrage about any of that. I haven't heard outrage about all the fentanyl that's come across the border that's killing Americans in record numbers. I don't hear outrage about the criminal aliens that have gotten through and have then victimized people, not only in Florida, but all throughout the country. I didn't hear any outrage about that. The only thing I hear them getting upset about is you have 50 that end up in Martha's Vineyard. Then they get really upset. And I'm sorry. Those migrants were being treated horribly by Biden. They were hungry, homeless. They had no opportunity at all. The state of Florida, it was volunteer, offered transport to sanctuary jurisdictions because it's our view that, one, the border should be secured. And we want to have Biden reinstitute policies like remain in Mexico and making sure that people aren't overwhelming. But short of that, if you believe in open borders, then it's the sanctuary jurisdictions that should have to bear the brunt of the open borders. So that's what we're doing. But what happened was they were provided an ability to be in the most posh sanctuary jurisdiction maybe in the world. And obviously it's sad that Martha's Vineyard people deported them the next day. They could have absorbed
to a military base. I'll have you.
Yes, they chose not to. But what it shows is if 50 was a burden on one of the richest places in our country, what about all these other communities that have been overrun with hundreds or thousands? It shows you when now these policies are on the front burner, people need to be talking about. Biden can't defend his policies of open borders. It's doing huge damage to our country. It's costing a lot of money. It's costing lives with the drugs that are pouring across. And so the question is why are you supporting Biden's policies? Why don't you step up and tell him you're failing and let's do it differently? Because you know what? He inherited a border that wasn't like this. He has created the crisis. But now at least we know nobody can deny that there's a crisis. Everybody now knows, and it was only because you had to have the elite who want to have the cost on everybody else, and they don't want to have to shoulder that. That's the only reason now people are talking about this.
Exactly. Let's think. Progressive liberals are insane. They want to take away your guns, but they have private security whom they pay. They don't want a border wall because they think it's racist, but yet they have a border wall around their private community. They want to control public school systems and what your kids are being taught, yet they would never allow their kids in a million years to go to a public school. They want you to wear a mask, but yet when they have their little ceremonies, their little Oscars and stuff like that, it's only for the help. It's only for the lowly workers. It's always rules for me and not for thee. They want to control everything that's going around, but they don't want to live in the world in which they profess is good for you. It's always how it happens. Period.